Habits are stereotypically difficult to start and hard to get rid of, right? Once you've got one, you really have a hard time getting rid of it because you do it all the time. And if you haven't done it, then it takes a lot of energy to constantly have that going. So we're going to look today at what you can do to quickly add a new one or ways that you can work on breaking ones that you've had for long periods of time. And I know that this doesn't sound like the most exciting, topic, but it's when you really get into it, I think you're going to like this because this is a topic that not only is very very useful, it's something that you're going to be able to use in your everyday life, but it's also something that is it's very very interesting, and it's an easy way to look at your whole life and say, what else could I use this on? So let's go ahead and dive in. So when you create a habit, it takes a lot of energy. Like I said, it's something that your body has to focus on. You have to think about what you're going to do, and you have to consistently do it, right? Your brain doesn't like to have to constantly waste a bunch of energy. If you did this on every single thing, then there would be no way that you would be able to process everything you had going on. If you constantly had to tell yourself breathe in, breathe out, if you had to tell your heart to beat, if you had to do all these different things, if you had to tell your gut to digest, it takes a lot of brain power, right? So what your brain does is it basically makes it into a system. Now, what is a system? If you do something every single day in the same way, that's a system. Businesses are supposed to run on systems. If you have systems, your business is worth more. That's why McDonald's is worth more than the average, mom and pop restaurant. They have better systems. They have more repeatable systems. So an example of a system would be when you wake up in the morning, you might go in and go to the bathroom, you wash your hands, you go out, you make your breakfast. After breakfast, you take your supplements. After your supplements, you go in and you brush your teeth. Something you do every single day, right? That's a system. That's a fixed action pattern. Walking is a great example of this as well. So every time that you take a step, your arms swing in a certain way, you breathe in a certain way, you step in that certain way, you have the balance, all that stuff. You don't have to think about it. There are a lot of examples of these throughout our day. The longer we have these, the more ingrained those systems are. So I'll give you an example from when I was really sick. When my thyroid went crazy, like I said, I lost 20 pounds in 3 weeks. I was really, really sick. And there were times in there that I would drive somewhere and I would get out of the car and it'd be like, I don't remember any of that drive. It's a scary thing. Like it freaked me out every single time because I didn't know, did I cut somebody off? Did I stop at all the red lights? I couldn't remember a single thing about the drive. Now, with that said, it is very, very unlikely that I did anything wrong on that. More than likely, I didn't cut anybody off. I drove the speed limit. I didn't stop at green lights and go at red lights. I made the right decisions because it's something that I do over and over again. Once we have that fixed action pattern ingrained, it doesn't take a whole lot of mental power to actually go out and do it. This is the whole proverbial riding a bicycle. Once you've ridden a bicycle, it's much, much easier to ride it again. You have the basis of the fixed action pattern and you can jump right back into it. This is how our habits go. That's what we use on our habits. We decrease the amount of energy that we need to burn to actually get that habit performed throughout the day. It's a good thing. When we don't have to waste that energy on thinking, we have that energy for healing or repairing or starting something new. So how do you use this to actually improve your habit systems? And the best way for this is attaching your habits to something you already do. It's really that simple. If you already do something, all you have to do is attach one more step. Instead of, having to, let's use supplements as an example. So say you keep your supplements in the pantry. Instead of, thinking about it, all right, I have to go to the supplements, I have to go to the pantry and get my supplements, walk all the way to the pantry, take your supplements, and then do whatever else to put them away, and then go back to doing whatever else. Instead of doing that, you add one action step. Okay, when I'm in the pantry in the morning, when I'm making breakfast, I'm going to take my supplements then. You're already there. You just have to do one other thing. You've already got that fixed action pattern of going into the pantry and taking your supplements. Another example would be when you brush your teeth, what other healthcare thing are you going to do? Could be stretching or whatever else. As I brush my teeth, I'm going to start stretching. You're already in there doing the thing that you do every single day. You already have that habit established. Your brain doesn't have to think extra on going and doing this. You just attach the one other thing. Now, looking at this in the opposite way, it's a little bit harder because you have to look at what you can take away. We have to look at what we stereotypically do when we're doing that extra thing, right? So if you're going into, all right, smoking is a common one. People oftentimes, if they go and have an alcoholic beverage, smoking is a common thing. If they get in the car, smoking is a common thing. So we've got to look at what we're already doing, and we have to replace that trigger action. So what is the trigger action? Let's use the driving and smoking. So if you jump into the car and you stereotypically have that cigarette, what are you going to replace that with? Plan on having something in the car so that when you jump in the car, you have something else to do, and you can attach that new habit. Instead of having cigarettes in there, you might have gum or some other, reward of some sort that you can use to wean yourself off of the cigarettes and do something else. Same thing could be like, going to the bar. I mean, stop going to the bar, right? That would be something that that would keep you from smoking. There are a million different examples from this, but instead of looking at what you can use as a trigger to do something new, we're looking to take that trigger away to take away something old. It's very, very cool on how the brain works on all of this stuff. But like I said, it's designed on a system that is supposed to keep you from expending extra energy, and it works really, really well. And that's why once we have a habit established, it's difficult to get rid of. It's why when we're trying to start something new, it's difficult to get it started. But we can make it much easier when we look for those trigger actions that are going to get you to start something, or those trigger actions that have you doing something that you can take away or replace and start a new behavior. So I hope that you find this helpful. This is one of the coolest things about health right here. Like that's something that fascinates me. It's something that if you are going to make a change in your health, you need to figure some of this out, because we've got to start new behaviors. We've got to break old behaviors to do that. And while it is difficult, it's very, very possible. I have confidence that you're going to be able to do it. So I hope you have a phenomenal day. If this is helpful, like, subscribe, give me some sort of feedback so I can make more of this information. But in the meantime, you have a phenomenal day.